Hello and welcome to the Stacy is Quilting series here on YouTube. I am so excited to finally get back to this project. This is a part 2 of my first quilt project. I am making the sugar quilt by Then Came June. It is a free pattern on their website. I will link it below. I am making this for my daughter Eliza. So let's do a little bit of a recap. I have purchased quite a bit of Ruby Star Society fabrics, fat quarters and half yards, some yardage because I really like a print and it's not easily available anymore. So most of this is coming from the Petunia collection from Ruby Star Society, but I have some Juicy, some Speckles, some Stars, I think picture book, things like that. Also, my daughter Eliza is coloring right in front of me. So if you hear a little voice, that is her. But I wanted this to be a really fun, eclectic quilt because my daughter is fun and eclectic and a little chaotic, and that's what I wanted this to be. So it's going to have the feel of a scrap quilt, and I'm so excited to have all of this fabric in my stash to make other things. I really love making bookmarks. I can see tote bags and bags in my future, maybe even a scrappy quilt. I really want to make a triangle quilt of some sort, so maybe this fabric goes towards that as well. But I used, so this pattern, dropped a rock. This pattern is free, so I don't mind talking about it too much. Ooh, let me get this. The sugar quilt is a half square triangle quilt, and you make your half square triangles 4 at a time, which is a technique that I became very familiar with when I made my tote bags for my sisters, my mom, and my 2 friends. And it's a really simple technique. So you're using pretty large squares to do this technique. And this pattern calls for 8-inch squares, and I did not have an 8-inch ruler. It was not easy for me to make 8-inch squares. So I really like my cutting to be as simple as possible. So what I did was I bought an 8.5-inch square ruler and used this to cut out my squares. So I have a ton of 8.5-inch squares. And that works for me because my half square triangles tend to be a little wonky. It's just part of it, right? So I'll be able to trim these to size pretty easily, and I shouldn't have too many that are super off. I am so excited to get this going. I just started today. So I've had these squares cut out. Not all of them are cut out yet. I do have one more fabric coming, which is from the new Animal collection from Ruby Star. My daughter loves sloths, so there's a sloth print, and I had her pick out her colorway, and that will be on its way soon along with some Aurifil thread. But I have started, and so what you do to make okay. Some midwinter break chaos in this house. So sorry, but this is what my life looks like. So I sew in our dining room because it's the only table that has enough space for me to sew and cut. And then my iron is over on this wall. It's kind of chaos in here, but it's where I can sew. And I also can have it set up while Eliza colors or watches a movie and get some sewing time in during the day instead of saving all of my sewing for the nighttime. But anyway, I have started, and I've made 2 so far, and I'm just doing this part first. So I'm creating the, maybe you can see it better on this side. So you sew a 1/4 inch all the way around your 2 squares together, obviously right sides together, and then you're going to end up cutting on the diagonal and then you get 4 half square triangles. It's really, really simple. It's a fun technique. And it's not that hard, which I really enjoy. And I don't mind. I like the ironing part. The trimming part is kind of for the birds, but I'm making a tote bag right now as well. And I just trimmed all of my half square triangles for my tote bag. And there's something so satisfying when it's all ironed and it's crisp. I love it. So I don't mind half square triangles. I know some people don't love them. This entire quilt is half square triangles. So I'm just going to be doing a couple of batches here and there every day. I have this not giant, but a pretty substantial stack of fabrics. I have already paired them up. So I just have to grab 2. This next pairing is so cute. So the speckles and this really fun print. I love the hand. I don't know why, but it's so fun. So I'm excited. A lot of these are some of my favorite pairings. The whole reason I bought Ruby Star Society, the turnip. I don't know why I love, or is it a beet? I think it's a turnip. But I just love this print so much, and it's gonna be paired up with this crazy, I love the fishes. I love every fabric in here, and it just all reminds me of my daughter. My favorite right now. So I have the moon, which we always look for the moon every night, and then the sun. I love it. It just, I love this project. It is so happy. It is so sunny. I cannot decide if I'm going to do a twin or a large throw. I want it to be substantial, and I want it to be able to be big enough to keep her warm as she grows. To get these ready to sew, I use my quilt clips and just kind of I clip the 2 squares together. I'm going to be starting at this corner and sewing down and just removing clips as I go. Nice and simple. I've been working on this for a couple of hours off and on, and I have a bit of progress to show you. So I completed 15 of these big squares together to make my 4 at a time half square triangles. And I cut and trimmed and ironed a couple of them because I wanted to show you, and I love them so much. So here's what they look like. Here's my fishies and flowers. Then I have peaches and diamonds. And tulips. And this like rainbow unicorn one. So that is so exciting. I just wanted to make sure I was trimming them the way that I wanted. I trimmed them to 5-inch squares. I love them. I really do. Now I am going to cut the remaining and then iron them flat and trim them. And maybe I'm going to start sewing the blocks together, or I'm going to work on a different project. I'm not sure yet, or I'm going to keep going with this because it's actually a really nice rhythmic, simple task to do, which I'm really enjoying today. And I have an entire, oh my goodness. I have all of these 8.5-inch squares cut. It's so much, and I really love the fabrics that I chose for this. So maybe I'll do some more of the 4 at a time half square triangles just to have more to choose from before I start piecing things together, even though it doesn't really matter because you're doing the same 4 in a square together. So you're just doing, and they'll all go the same direction, 2 and 2, and then the other 2 will be on the top or bottom of these into a square, and then you'll sew all of the squares of half square triangles together. And I'm really happy with that. So maybe I'll start getting the squares put together. I don't know. I like projects like this for any craft that I'm doing that are really, what is the word that I'm looking for? You kind of piece it together. They're modular. That's the word I'm looking for. It's so easy to just sit down and be like, oh, I'm going to cut these open. I'm going to trim these. I'm going to sew them together. There's just something about the modular nature of projects like this that make them go really fast and also keep them interesting for me, even though it's a very repetitive project. So I might make some more of these. These fabrics are so good. This is one of my favorites. It's just so fun. So let's keep going. And I've made some pretty good progress on Eliza's quilt, this sugar quilt. So I have a little stack of finished half square triangles that have been trimmed to 5-inch squares. I love them. They're so cute. I'm just gonna show you what they look like. I'm thrilled. So this is my first quilt project. I have done quilting before, but I've never done a quilt. This is one of my favorites. I love gold and lavender together. Gorgeous. There's just something about this quilt. It's so quirky. It makes no sense. And I still am loving every second of it. I love the fish. Yeah, I am loving every second of it. So I have all of these done. I need to start assembling some blocks, but I actually think I'm really enjoying the process of making the half square triangles right now. And I have this giant pile of fabric paired up, ready to go. And I think I will start working on that. So what I did is I've ironed these all out as flat as I could get them. I'm not super stressed about it because it's going to be quilted. And then I just have the two fabrics stacked together. And I tried to, whatever's on the bottom, make it look like it doesn't belong with the one that's on top of it for the next pairing, if that makes sense, so that I'm not getting confused. But since it's all paired up, I just have to grab two sew them together and call it a day. So I think that's what I'm gonna do today. Been a very crafty Saturday, and we're about to go out for me and my friend's birthday because we were all born within 2 weeks of each other. And before that happens, I've just been working on this quilt. So these are all of my trimmed ends for my half square triangles. So this is 25 blocks worth of half square triangles, and I love them so much. Some of my favorites are in here. I really like this combination. I think is really nice. This one is really nice. I don't know, I'm a big fan of all of this. Ooh, I like this one. So 25 blocks worth ready to go. Then I have 15 blocks completed. And so what the plan is that all of the darkest halves will be facing the same direction. But I am so thrilled with how these came out. So, this is one of Doug's favorites. But I am thrilled that we're on the path to making this quilt top, and maybe by a week from today, maybe the quilt top will be done. Maybe. So I have done everything that I can do now to get ready to get going, because Eliza is spending the night at my parents' house. And so I've got to pack all of our stuff because we're also spending the night at one of my friends' houses. So it's going to be a good time, but I am just thrilled with how this is coming out. This feels like a very productive day. in the final stage before I start piecing this quilt top together. I have the last 32 blocks ready to be assembled. So I am going to do that today, which is, it's so exciting. So we're going to assemble the remaining 32 blocks so that I have 72 blocks total for a twin size. And then I'm going to clean up my living room floor and play with the placement. This would be a really great time to have a design wall, but I just do not have the brain space to figure out how to put it up, even though I know it's just like a piece of batting or some like, we're looking at like soundproof panels to do that upstairs in our office, but I don't have the brain space to do that right now. So we're just going to lay it out on the floor, old-fashioned style, and see what looks good and just kind of play around with the design. But I think this will be the last part of this video because we're just piecing the blocks together. So let's start doing that. Oh, this is gonna be a great blanket. Doug and I have laid out, Doug is my husband, he's right there. We've laid out all of the blocks and now we're going to put it in a better color order that makes it a little bit more even. The goal right now is to make sure the columns don't have any of the same fabric in it. So that is what that's what we're gonna do, but I love it. Do you like it?
I like it.
Ah, it looks so good.
All right, let's do a puzzle.
All right. Now that we have the quilt top layout figured out, I have all of the rows separated. So I have my 9 rows because I'm doing a twin size. So it is an 8x9. And I'm a little nervous to get started, and I think I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and show myself that it's really not that difficult and I can do it. So each one is numbered. So we're gonna start with number 1, and I'm just gonna sew them together. I'm really nervous. But this is my first quilt. This is a learning experience. This is the whole point. It's the whole point. So I have my box of clips. My bobbin thread is full. I have my Aurifil ready to go. And I have pictures to reference. So, okay, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. just finished sewing the first row, and this isn't correct. Yeah, it's gonna go this way. Okay, I had a mini panic that I did it wrong, but here it is so far. It's looking great, looks good. I'm happy with how it came out. So now I'm going to sew row number 2. And then once row number 2 is done, I think I'm gonna sew 1 and 2 together. I'm gonna sew row 3, attach it to 2, and so on and so forth, just to kind of keep it a little bit tidier so I don't have just like a bunch of these long pieces together, and it will just be together. If that's wrong, tell me. This is my first quilt. I'm documenting my first quilt. This is for my daughter Eliza. I'm not overly stressed about it, but if it's like, hey, Stacy, that's not at all how you do this, like how you piece a quilt together, tell me. But that's what I'm gonna do. And then for the next one, I won't do that. But I am so motivated to finish this quilt top, and then maybe even by the end of day tomorrow, which feels wild because I started this, I think, the 17th-ish of February. It's March 1st. So if I can get this quilt done in like a month, I'll be okay with that. Start realizing how insane my hair looks. I'm about to do yoga. So I'm going to, I looked like my watch was on my wrist. I'm gonna sew for 30 more minutes and then do my yoga practice. And then if I'm still not tired, I will do more sewing. So I think I can get at least row 2 attached to this tonight. It's Sunday night and I finally have a chance to work on the quilt. I did a bit of work yesterday. Let me show you where I'm at. Here it is so far. So I've done 3 rows and I am loving every second of it. It smells so good. I'm using, because some of my seams, I'm having a hard time pressing to nest them. So I was recommended, I'm gonna fold this back up real quick. I was recommended the flatter spray from, what's it called? From Soak, which I'm familiar with Soak because I'm a knitter and this was like my first wool wash that I used. And the Celebration scent is one of my favorite things ever, but this is called Flatter and it's a spray and you just spray it and it helps with flattening your seams and your any like wrinkly bits, and I'm in love with it and it smells so good. But I am now working on row 4 and my hope is to attach row 4 and 5 tonight. I don't know if that's gonna be possible, but I broke a needle yesterday, and so I reattached a needle and I'm ready to go. And we're just gonna kind of zone out. I'm watching a YouTube video about a checkered garden quilt, which I think might be quilt number 2, with some leftovers from this and some stash. I really like the checkered garden quilt and it looks really fun. So I'm watching a video on tips about fabric and how to press and all of that, and I'm enjoying it. There's something about quilting while watching people talk about quilting that I'm really enjoying, but I'm enjoying every second of this process. I'm in no rush to finish it, so I'm just going to vibe and get what I can done. I was wrapping up editing the video and realized I didn't do an outro, so this is it. I have finished my quilt top. Here it is. And I am waiting for the batting to get here. I have the backing all ready to go. A little sneak peek. Here it is. So I have the quilt top and the backing. I'm waiting for a queen size batting because this is a twin size quilt, but it's a little bit wider than the batting, so I need to trim it all up. And that's just the only way that I can make it happen. So thank you for being here, and if you're making this quilt along with me, I hope it's going well, and I will see you in the next part to do the quilt sandwich and start quilting and finishing the sugar quilt.